Rally, pretty good, huh? Rally just outside of the Grand Central there, where he was staying over, and I was never really had gotten that involved in what was going on in Iran, what was going on necessarily in the Middle East, and how it affected not just the homosexual community, but also how it affected women and men that are living there as well, and the kind of the Sharia law that exists that really persecutes those that are kind of thinking outside of the box. I got very interested in that, and I've been following kind of those the happenings, especially there now in Iran with the recent election and whatnot. So, without further ado, Banafsheh, please.
I brought sort of a cheat sheet tonight with some explanations. The New York Times finally did the most amazing thing that they've ever been able to do for the Iranian people for the last 31 years that I can recall, by putting an incredible flowchart together. So anybody who doesn't have one, I highly recommend you take one, because it really explains who's who, how the relationships work within that regime, and what basically happens and who answers to who ultimately. Then there's some other bits and pieces that explain what the Shiite sect is about, how many members the Shiite community within various Muslim countries have, as well as the nature of the mullah history and background inside Iran, then the homosexual Sharia laws, and then laws on women's issues. I'm not going to talk a whole lot tonight because as this election cycle has basically turned out to be so ugly and at the same time so glorious, I realize that things are constantly in such a state of flux that even if you try to formulate something, it's kind of a futile effort. So I just thought it would be nice to let people ask questions. But to begin with, I want to start out with one comment, and that is about the nature of the dialogue that is constantly on the lips of the various administrations and the Obama administration where Iran is concerned. It's an unfortunate thing that this administration has not understood that for 30 years the Islamic Republic has been attempted to be dialogued with. Carter tried, Ronald Reagan tried by sending a cake and a magnificent $10,000 Quran to Khomeini, which he threw away, and he put the cake and photographed it with a dog eating it. Then Bush 41 didn't do anything. Clinton, however, tried for 7 out of the 8 years, with Warren Christopher finally getting to the point where he ended up calling Iran the evil empire. It was actually him who called Iran the evil empire. And then, well, Madeleine Albright tried. She actually apologized to the Khatami, the so-called reformist president that everybody so fervently voted for in '97, and with all of the efforts that was made on the part of the Clinton administration, nothing ever happened.